Hey Zane,
Yes,
you know the holidays have kicked in full gear now.
they have.
So that means crazy schedules, more time at home, maybe even visits from the in-laws.
Ooh, that means you need to be prepped for said visits.
You're going to be drinking a bit more. So I think we should talk about the whiskeys you should have in your home bar.
So basically, like, what's necessary for a good home bar?
Yeah, or at least to start a home bar or continue a better bar.
A bar that helps you
Get through the holidays. So, best whiskeys for your home bar.
right after this.
Welcome to Whiskey Pop. My name's Jeff.
And I'm Contemplative Zane.
Are we contemplative? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. You look like it. You're like doing this thing. So I thought, hey, I'd do that too.
I need whiskey.
He's meditative, Jeff.
So today we're going to talk about...
How to make a home bar and 7 whiskeys that pull that off.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about 7 whiskeys you should have in your home bar.
I thought it was like we're going to make a home bar.
No, we already have a home bar. It's huge. It's got
Yes, we do have a home bar now.
We got tons of whiskey.
Yeah, if you open
We're
it up
going to
with
tell you the
crack
7...
a safe to get to your home bar, you know there's a problem.
No, that's because you got a lot of people
Isn't that
visiting
right,
your
Rochester?
home. The collector.
Okay. So we are actually...
We're going to talk about the 7 whiskeys you need for your home bar that we generally would have on hand all the time.
Yeah. And these are all over $400.
No, these are available, affordable, and easy to get to.
That's the whole point. These are stuff you can just get a hold of.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to write down some unicorn that you cannot find.
I mean, who wants to see that? You need Pappy Van Winkles, you need some Stag, you need...
And honestly, you really don't need those.
You don't have to have those to actually have a decent bar.
That's right, absolutely. And you know, it's funny, a lot of this stuff, some of the stuff we may have never reviewed before, because we drink it so much as a regular thing, we don't really even think about reviewing it.
That is true.
Now, we have reviewed some of them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how many have we reviewed?
A lot.
A lot.
But, you know, it got me to thinking, so before we go any further,
We have to do something.
we got to crack something open. And the funny thing is, this is something we've never reviewed before, but yet we've had a lot of it.
Well, I haven't had any of it. Let's do it today.
We haven't had any today. And we're going to do Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah.
Now, this is the new fancy bottle.
It is. You know what? I had to say it. This new bottle is pretty dope.
So let's crack this open.
Yep.
Ready to do this?
Jeff, I'm
Dying to do this?
I need to do this.
Well, let's do this. I mean, should we sniff it?
Well, we can. Just don't tell anybody what we smell.
Why do we not do that?
It's because on Friday, we revealed the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
On second pour.
Right. That's where we prove our expertise. That's where we show that we know what we're talking about. Somehow, I don't feel like you are believing my words.
Let's just drink this whiskey. So, before we get started,
Yes.
what is the one question you get asked now that we have a YouTube channel and people know when they know you have one and it's about whiskey? What is the one thing they ask you?
So what do you think would be a good whiskey for me? You know, it typically, then it goes into, before you even get to answer, it's, I just don't want anything that's too spicy or too hot, but you know, something that's real smooth but good and goes back. And I've got all these categorical things that I think I need when you're like, let me guess, you haven't tried a lot at all.
Exactly, and so that's the thing. It's like, all right, okay, we need to do an episode where we kind of give people kind of a basic entry.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's really hard because there's so many variables that are there when it comes to what whiskey should I get?
I have to ask them questions like, well, do you like mangoes and kumquats? Do you like pepper? I mean, because there's all these things you need to know
it can
before
go
you give them a
everywhere.
recommendation.
So this is a good starting point. You're like, we can tell them, okay, these are whiskeys you should already have.
Yeah.
Before you start going down this road of other stuff.
For sure.
And so this is kind of the start. So then we'll have an episode where we can send people like, yo, we just did an episode. We talk about the whiskeys you should have in your home bar. This is that one.
He's thinking. You see that?
We're thinking. We're thinking. That's how we work around here.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks around here.
We don't get paid any money for this.
Well, they're pretty
Wait,
big
you
bucks.
making money?
No.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. But, you know, hey, we'll take money.
Show me the money.
101.
101.
Okay, Wild Turkey 101 should be in your home bar.
Yeah. It's just an overall decent, consistent whiskey.
For sure. And it's not too hot. It's kind of entering that high...
Yeah, it's entering a high proof.
High proof whiskey, but at the same rate, it's not 120.
No, I got that out in the truck. You guys want to see me open up a 120?
Yeah.
Okay, but no, that
I've
one's
never seen that before.
What's funny is that one drinks so much hotter than what I'm talking about. It drinks so much hotter than stuff that's way hotter than it, but I don't know what that's all about.
It just depends on the char, maybe.
It's just the char.
So Wild Turkey 101, this, believe it or not, is a 6 to 8 year age whiskey.
No, I wouldn't believe it.
So it's not an age statement whiskey, but they say that it's 6 to 8 years. That means minimum of 6 years.
Yeah, they're making a quality product because this is their staple.
This is their classic Wild Turkey mash bill. This is this is their staple.
Yeah.
It's also over 100 proof. Honestly, this is not bitch whiskey.
Oh no. There's a couple whiskeys that can be put on this sort of list we're talking about that they're not all going to be on here.
They're not on this home bar list.
But the thing is that because they have been seen so much, you would assume it's the basic bitch whiskey.
Yeah, but this one's not.
But they're not. It's actually like a drinker's whiskey.
Yeah. See, in 101,
not a drunkard's whiskey, like a whiskey drinker connoisseur.
We don't know anything about drunkards.
Ain't gonna roll away, biscuit cutter.
So another big one. So let's jump across the pond.
Okay, I say, are they gonna be talking a little like this?
No, a little further. Hibiki Harmony.
Oh my! This is my really bad Japanese accent.
So okay, this is like if somebody's like, I'm not really into Scotch. This is to change their mind.
Look, don't get confused into thinking you're drinking a Scotch from Scotland. A perfected, crafted, golden, beautiful menagerie of amazement.
I mean, how can Bill Murray be wrong? It's Suntory time.
It's Suntory time.
For relaxing times, make it Suntory time.
Now, Hibiki Harmony is probably one of my favorite Suntory products as far as what they produce.
I'll say this much. This week on Third Pour, we're going to be reviewing Hibiki Harmony.
No, we're not. Third Pour will be off camera today with Hibiki Harmony.
No, it is really good. Now, this is a pricey bottle.
It's like, it used to be cheaper.
Yeah, not
but now
anymore.
it's running about 70, 80 bucks, right?
I mean, it should have cost me only that, but, you know.
He's paying more than he should.
I did.
Here's the great thing. This is without the peat. So it's like Scotch without the peat. Very sweet, very honey.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
But, I mean, this is, I would say we always have Hibiki around.
Yeah, and if we don't, it's because we always had it around, if you know what I mean. And
then we drank it all. Yeah. But, I mean, if this is not on somebody's home bar, they're missing out.
For sure. This is such a great whiskey, and right now it's still available.
It's still, okay, so it's I would say it's not readily available, but it's available enough you can find it without hunting too much.
Right.
Generally, it's on the shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
The search continues.
You have to have some kind of Scotch on this home bar.
Oh, of course.
But generally, people either love Scotch or
they don't love Scotch.
Exactly. So there's a good way to help people when they're starting their home bar and they kind of can entry into Scotch.
Yeah.
And I would think this is a good entry, even though this is generally considered a Scotch that's made for mixing.
Yeah, but it's good to drink.
A lot of people like to drink and eat, and that would be
Shoulder de la Plume.
Monkey Shoulder. Okay, so this is a really good blended malt Scotch whiskey.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And I think it's a nice, neat pour. And if you're just getting into Scotch or you have guests over,
yeah,
this is a good guest Scotch if they don't normally drink Scotch.
It's mild, but yet has plenty of flavor that you need, and it's just not over the top in any of the
Yeah.
certain characteristics that scotches have, like peatiness or too much smoke or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's middle of the road. Yeah. It's 80 proof. You know, the interesting thing about this scotch though is there is some really good flavor in there.
Oh no, it's really good, and it's not too expensive. That's another thing.
That's right, and I consider this not a bitch whiskey either, because it's not like you're buying a cheap Glenlivet or a cheap Johnny Walker, right, which is normally what everybody goes and grabs when they're just trying scotch. Cheap. Now this is a cheap whiskey though. It's only like $30.
No, like I said, it's not very expensive. And you know, we're not busting on blue or black label Johnny Walker.
Not at all.
We're just talking about in general.
In general, this is a good grab for a whiskey to have in your home bar. And the plus side is it makes a good mixer too. So you would never mix Hibiki.
And if you do, there's a special place in hell for you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Hotel Hell. Check-in time is now, check-out time is never.
The next addition that you need to have in your bar.
Now, we've got a bourbon. We've got a scotch.
Yes.
And we even have a Japanese whiskey, but I think we need to come back over to the United States.
Oh, sure.
Probably bring a rye.
Rye is a necessity.
And I would say, you know, we reviewed this whiskey this year and really grown fond of it to the point where we realized it has to always be in the room.
I have a bottle in my bar.
Old Pepper Distillery single barrel rye.
It's good. It's 110 proof, so it is a little on the hot side.
Well, it's okay. I mean, you got a 101, you've got an 80, and then you get a
110.
110.
Right? Yeah. So it's spicy in itself because it's rye, but then it does have a little kick and heat.
Now this is,
but it drinks really good.
This is an MGP, but MGP makes all the whiskey, I think, for Old Pepper Distillery right now.
Yeah, it's still going to be a unique flavoring. I mean, that's a really
for sure. Rye. And MGP knows their ryes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And it's usually what, around $40? It's pretty cheap, actually.
It's one of those few that when you find somebody that carries it, that'll be the place you have to go usually to find it, because it's not just everywhere.
But it's available. You can find it.
Oh yeah, but it is findable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so every one of these whiskeys like $20, $25, $30. This is probably so far the most expensive on the list. And it used to not be. Yeah,
it didn't.
You know, but that's like every whiskey out there right now.
And right now, as you can see, what we've done in this collection, there's enough uniqueness to each one that it has its own place.
And that's the whole idea of a home bar. You kind of want to have some variance going on there, because you never know what mood you're in or what your guests coming in might want.
Right.
Or what you want to make that day.
Making cafes.
So our next one, we're going to make a huge dive the different directions. So like, this is far, far, far to swing, right?
Right, but it's kind of necessary if you're going to really have a full palette of what your bar should be.
When we say palette, this one will definitely stretch the palate.
It will.
And we're talking about Ardbeg.
Yeah.
This is the 10-year.
This is the 10-year.
It is smoky.
And
it is briny.
And it is
peaty.
I don't know what this is, but
Zane loves it.
It is good.
Okay, this is Islay smoky at its core. Yeah. This is some really smoky, peaty Scotch. Now we have to say that because...
Don't get confused. This is really smoky tar in a bottle.
But... I mean, here's the thing. If you're gonna sit down one night and you're gonna invade your home bar and you're gonna drink some varying whiskeys, you need to finish with this, not start with it.
No, it'll ruin the rest of your tasting experience.
I mean, this tends to take over anything that's happened before it. Or if you do this first, this will never taste the same.
It is that powerful of a flavor.
It's that strong, and so it sticks. It's a very strong, full-bodied.
Yeah, smoky, super heavy. I mean, there's like this oiliness to it. This
sticks, right?
Yeah, it's like you just fell into this brining pool of primordial soup, and you came out, and you're like, Ardbeg.
What's that sound like?
Ardbeg.
As you start to open your palate to whiskey.
Yeah.
You start to swing over here to this and you're thinking, I'm not gonna like this. And next thing you know, you're all about this.
Yeah.
All this is great, but this.
That's good.
Exactly, and that kind of happens. I mean, people find out, hey, I really love smoky, peaty Scotches.
Yeah.
And they almost never go back.
Well, the thing about my personal bar at home
is
I have things that match so many different moods that I might be in as far as like what I'm just thinking I want. You know, something light, something heavy, something long lasting for the evening. So I have all these things to choose from.
Yeah.
And you have to have this like a outlier, you know, heavy or
it's got to be there.
It needs to be there.
It will be mine. Oh, yes.
We're going to hop back over to Ireland.
There's an island for it.
And there's a ton of Irish whiskeys, but this is one we feel like it needs to be.
Yeah, and if you've been watching our show, you can guess which one this one probably is.
And it is Redbreast 12.
It is good.
I mean, come on, this is always here. It is always available. Always.
Yeah, no, it is good.
This is a 12-year, this comes from Jameson, which we would probably account as bitch whiskey.
Yeah, well, it is.
But this comes from the same distillery. This is the Middleton Distillery. They make this in triple pot stilled. This is some sweet...
It's not made the same way.
It's some sweet ass stuff, I'm telling you right now.
No, it's good.
And clearly one of my favorite Irish whiskeys.
Yeah, it's a smooth drinker. It does not just kick you in the face or anything like that.
And it's an 80 proof.
Yeah, it is good.
Now, if you wanted to kick you in the face,
you can buy
the cast strength
version.
And it's really good. Did I mention this is 12 years?
The only whiskey is Irish whiskey. Ah.
I think we need to go back to bourbon.
Yeah, of course.
In this case, this would be kind of a finished whiskey.
Yeah, which is a decent bourbon. You can find this everywhere.
Yeah, and so this would be Woodford Reserve. Double oaked.
Double oaked, yeah.
When it says double oaked, which I think we need to really have an episode where we talk about these kind of things.
That's a good idea.
But I think, you know, double oaked means that they finished it in another barrel, double oaked.
Yeah.
You could just say finished in another barrel too, but it didn't sound as cool as double oaked.
Yeah, no, and it definitely has the look of a whiskey that's been in a barrel for a while.
So either it's been in a barrel or in two different barrels and they put those barrels together.
Yeah.
But it makes a really sweet tasting whiskey.
And it is readily available. It is solid. It is good. Yeah. Well, it's what a bourbon should be.
Now it's funny, like I've said, there are whiskeys that we've had that we've never reviewed on the show that are always in our home bar. This is one of those whiskeys we've never reviewed, Woodford Reserve of any.
Well, that's sad because quintessential bourbon.
Well, you know what's crazy about this? We should like do our next guest we ever bring on the show.
Yeah.
We should have them try these whiskeys, our home bar whiskeys.
That would be great.
You know who we should get to try them?
Who's that?
We should invite Santa to come and try whiskey.
Wait.
So, you know, hey,
spoiler alert, Jeffrey, you know.
So I got my notes, I'm ready. I'm gonna write later.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna write Santa later. I think it's a good idea. We should do it. I was gonna go ahead and send him a letter anyway while I'm at it.
Santa's not real, bro.
What do you mean?
I mean, come on.
Real?
I mean,
he brings me gifts every year.
What?
I have gifts under my tree that says from Santa.
Okay. Okay.
But what?
So you're
telling me you don't believe in Santa Claus?
I've never believed in Santa Claus. I've never had a.
Where
I've never had a
Christmas presents come from?
Yeah, not from Santa.
Do you believe in aliens?
No.
Well, the government does.
Let's see where that's
I mean,
going.
people weren't believing in aliens for years. All of a sudden, now they all do. I mean, how's Santa any different?
So you're gonna write to the alien Claus.
He's not an alien, he's Santa Claus. A magical creature.
So what are you gonna write him to? Dear Santa, bring me a bottle of...
No, I'm gonna say, Dear Santa, won't you come visit us at Whiskey Pop and try some whiskeys with us?
All right, write him a letter then, fine, I don't care.
You don't believe this is gonna work.
You can't, that letter, even if it was gonna work, it can't even get to wherever you're gonna mail it.
I'm gonna mail it to the North Pole.
And...
He acts like this hasn't been going on for hundreds of years.
You mean tell me the United States Postal Service
will send it to the North Pole?
Sends it to the North Pole.
Well, yeah.
You know, that's even more absurd than believing Santa Claus is real. Do it. I'm sorry, do it. I don't want to bust your bubble any harder.
Meantime, while I try to explain Santa Claus to Zane, you guys be sure to like, share, and
subscribe.
You know, down below here. And also leave your comments or visit us on our Facebook group page and we can talk more about this home bar or what you may have on your home bar.
And don't forget, ding our dong, because that's how you're gonna know when we introduce new content every week.
Ring our bell. And don't forget, this Friday, we're gonna review
101.
Wild Turkey 101.
101.
101. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish writing my letter to Santa. You watch, we'll get Santa Claus on this show yet. I'm gonna prove him wrong.
Whatever. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.